Hello, I hope you're doing well. I have a different sort of video format for you guys. It is kind of like a week in my journals / planners video. And yeah, I'm curious to know if you want to see more of these. Basically, since I use several planners, I get a lot of questions about how I use each of them throughout the day or throughout the week, and kind of how I decide what to put in each planner. So I basically just turned on the camera every time I had some time to journal, and it will be a little bit scattered just because I do plan very sporadically. So yeah, this is pretty realistic. So starting with Monday, I am setting up my bullet journal. This is my Leuchtturm pocket bullet journal, and this is one of my favorite things in the entire world. It's sort of like a creative outlet for me. I make to-do lists, I make journal entries, I doodle really random things, and just whatever I feel like doing. So there really is no rules in this planner. And since this is my subscription launch week, I decided to use the sticker sheet that comes with the 1st January subscription. And if you follow me on social media, you would know that there was an issue with the subscription, which I will get into later. But here I was on Monday, naively very excited about the launch on Tuesday. And then in the same planning session, I then started filling out some of my Hobonichi weeks. This is my purely personal planner, and I think I just wrote down that I wanted to go to the grocery store. And I also filled in my steps tracker and my workout tracker. And yeah, that basically concluded my morning planning session. And then moving on to sometime in the afternoon, I went to No Frills, which is a grocery store, and I really like doodling food. So I doodled some of the things that I got in my bullet journal just because I felt like it. No reason at all. And then I decided to fill out some of my Hobonichi cousin planner. This is my everything planner, so I write about my work, my day, anything that happens in this planner. I think you guys are pretty familiar with this one. I did start off by checking off some of my to-do list items, and I wrote in my afternoon entry. And then this clip is from the evening. I had a lot of things to design and I was starting to feel a bit overwhelmed, so I decided to create a design list in my Hobonichi cousin just so that I have something concrete written down and I could follow a plan if needed. And then typically at the very end of the day, I go into the weekly section of my Hobonichi cousin and I count the number of hours that I worked and I mark it off in my work graph tracker. I did have a few highlights for this day, which is always awesome, so I just wrote that down on the sidebar, but this isn't something that I do every day. And then I'm filling out my Hobonichi weeks again with some of the foods that I ate. This is just like the main foods, so it's not everything that I ate in a day. That would be way too little. And then I am going back to my bullet journal because I just felt like journaling a little bit more about how excited I was about the subscription. And yeah, these are all of my spreads for Monday. Alright, it is then Tuesday morning, which was the morning of the subscription, and again, I was naively very excited. I started off once again with my bullet journal. I just wrote in Tuesday, and I really wanted to use this pig sticker that comes with the sticker sheet, but it wouldn't fit, so I cut it in half and put it across the page. I then wrote down my to-do list and that it was a subscription release day, and I wrote that. I was very nervous. And then, yeah, there was a big issue with the subscription app that I was using. Despite testing, it was like not letting 99% of the customers check out. A few customers were able to check out, but mostly not, and it was just this entire fiasco. It took me 6 hours to figure out the problem, and it had to do with the code, and because I was using like a third-party app, they didn't have anyone for immediate help, so that was lovely. And this clip in my Hobonichi cousin was like in real time. I think I was about an hour or 2 hours into the problem and I still had no idea what the issue was. And you might be wondering, why in the world are you writing in your journal when there was a pressing issue? I was honestly like trying a bunch of different solutions for an hour straight and nothing was working, so I just felt like I needed to take a quick break and write stuff down. You also can't really see from the video, but I was like shaking really badly because I was so anxious. Anyways, after the 6 hours and I figured out the problem, I then went on a walk. You can see that it was basically sunset by then. And then when I got home, I got a bunch of work done. And at the very end of the evening, I decided to reflect on the day. So that is why I wrote Aftermath and I wrote a journal entry once again. I didn't really fill in my Hobonichi weeks on this day because, again, it's a personal planner, and so I didn't have too many personal things going on. I did write in what I ate, and then for the note page section, because this was like a pretty notable event, I decided to just fill out the entire thing by documenting exactly what happened from morning to night. Although I was writing mostly about work, I had a lot of personal feelings about it, so I felt like it was okay to include it in my Hobonichi weeks. I did make a few more doodles after I turned off the camera, but yeah, these were all of my spreads from Tuesday. Okay, moving on to Wednesday, I started off in the weekly section of my Hobonichi cousin. I was just filling in some of the details because I wasn't too sure exactly what would be happening the night before. So yeah, I just wrote down some more to-do list items. On Tuesday, I planned on going to a local cafe to answer emails leisurely, but again, there was a subscription issue, so I didn't end up doing that. So instead, I decided to go on Wednesday. But before that, I just quickly wrote in a journal entry in my Hobonichi cousin and also filled in my Hobonichi weeks. And yeah, this is the clip of me at the cafe. I got myself an almond milk cappuccino. It was very, very good. The purpose of this particular cafe outing was to first do some personal journaling. So I started making some doodles in my bullet journal, but then also to respond to emails. I hadn't gone to a cafe in quite a few weeks, so this was really nice. So I just doodled a little cafe scenery of myself and wrote down some things that I wanted to get done at the cafe. I then walked to a Starbucks because I wanted to get coffee and snacks for all of my staff. So I got 4 coffees and also a bunch of the prepackaged snacks like the chocolate almonds and Rice Krispies. Oh my goodness. And so I made a little doodle in my Hobonichi cousin with everything that I got, and I think this doodle turned out really, really cute. And then in the evening, I checked off some of my to-do list items, and again, I'm counting the number of hours that I worked so I can track it in my work tracker. And then this is still Wednesday evening, but I'm just planning for the next day. So I get also a lot of questions about whether I am actually planning or if I'm memory keeping, and 90% of the time I'm definitely planning ahead. It's just that I film throughout the week, so it seems like I'm writing down everything that already happened, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I just quickly filled in some things for Thursday, and then I'm finishing off my Hobonichi weeks spread with some things that I ate, and then I tracked a few things in my bullet journal, and this concludes all of my spreads for Wednesday. Alrighty, moving on to Thursday. I wrote this to-do list the night before, so I'm just jumping right in with filling out some more details. This was a day I announced some of my updated subscription information, so I was feeling really, really nervous and anxious. I wrote down some key information so I wouldn't forget, and then I moved on to writing in my morning journal entry. I've been trying to be very good about writing early in the morning rather than pushing it off, and I just end up like not writing until after lunch, which isn't too ideal for me. So yeah, I did really well this week with writing early in the morning. Then again, in my Hobonichi weeks, I just wrote in my steps tracker and my workout for the day, and then I filled in some food. I also put down this I love food emoji because I'm trying to make a conscious effort to eat a little bit more. And then this clip was during my lunch break. I just checked off some of the items on my to-do list and writing in my afternoon entry. As you can see, I'm snacking on a Nature Valley dark chocolate granola bar, and let me tell you, currently my two hyperfixation foods are Nature Valley dark chocolate granola bars and Subway sandwiches, and you will see that as a recurring theme throughout this week. And then I think in the evening I just felt like updating the calendar section of my Hobonichi cousin. As you can see, I don't do this every single day, but just whenever I feel like it. I just adjusted some dates because I got it wrong, and I also wrote in some things on the sticky notes to mark in updated subscription information. And I typically just draw in arrows or use my arrow stickers to mark in things that span over several days. I will talk more about this in my updates video, but I'm trying to keep my monthly section a little bit more minimal, although there are quite a bit of stickers here. And yeah, on the sidebar, I just wrote down some incoming packages, and then here I am finishing off my Hobonichi weeks spread for today. So I just filled in once again my movements tracker and some personal things. I also got the most lovely Christmas card from Jean and her husband, so I just peeled off the stamp. It is from Japan, so it is so beautiful, and I just applied some double-sided, like the tape runner thing, and stuck it into my spread because, again, I just thought it was so beautiful. Then I'm just finishing off some stuff on the weekly section, and I also planned a little bit for Friday. I don't typically fully plan the day, only the things that I know for sure is going to happen, and then I can just fill in whatever the next day. And then, as always, I'm just counting the number of hours that I worked so I can mark it in my work tracker. And these are all of my spreads for Thursday. Thank goodness it is Friday. I'm starting off in my Hobonichi cousin, and I didn't film myself writing the to-do list because I actually filmed the video for Instagram Reels and TikTok, so yeah, that is why. But here I am just writing in my morning entry, just how I'm feeling for the day and what is about to happen. And then in the same planning session, I just quickly filled in some things for my Hobonichi week spread. And then we're jumping straight into my bullet journal. I'm just switching between all of these different planners. I'm really liking these like planet doodly date icons. I started off writing Thursday. Oh, by the way, I didn't use my bullet journal on Thursday. I just skipped it because I didn't feel like it. But yeah, because I skipped Thursday, I got confused and I started off by writing Thursday, and then I later corrected myself, and then I realized that it was Friday the 13th, so I just made a funny little comment. And basically what I did for my bullet journal on this day was create a good and bad like list, and then the idea is that at the end of the day I want to fill it in. In the afternoon after my workout, I filled in my Hobonichi weeks again with my movements. And then this was filmed in the evening where the day has gone by, so I just wrote down all of the good things that happened and all of the bad things. I filled in some of my habit trackers, and then I am back in the Hobonichi cousin just planning for the weekend. So again, this was Friday, but I'm planning for Saturday. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I know I was jumping all over the place, but this is literally just how I plan. And if you're interested in seeing more similar videos, definitely let me know. I think it was really fun to film. So I will see you next time. Bye!